What up? What up?
What up, man? Thank you very much. Yo, you doing all right? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's good, man. Just had to feed my daughter,
Understand.
through the day.
Daddy Deck. No, I understand. So, everybody, it's Wu Wednesday, and there are two interviews that I've always wanted, and this is one of them right here. If I stop today, if I drop dead today, my little media bullshit career is complete. And we got the sharpest sword in the fucking Wu, in my opinion. No, facts. I don't give a fuck what niggas say. This is what it is. Sharpest sword in the Wu. Surgical with this bitch, Jake, like motherfucking Denzel in Training Day. And very excited to have Raleigh Fingers, fifth brother, Ayatollah, Manifesto, Charlie Horse, Cynthia's son, Rebel Lioness, Kill Hill's finest, Inspectah Deck. Thank you, man, for real.
That was good with y'all, man. Shout out to the whole IG world. You know what I mean? Everybody tuning in right now. This is big. Big, It
is big. It is big. You understand. Welcome to episode 111 of the Carrying the Culture show. And we're going to jump right into it, man. We got a lot of ground to cover. We're going to jump around and stuff like that. And so let's rock and roll, man. I'd like to start with a little history first and kind of go back. And so I want to know, like, little Inspector, like, what was, like, 10-year-old Inspectah Deck on a Saturday afternoon, what was he doing?
10-year-old Inspector Saturday afternoon, man. I probably was watching, the Saturday afternoon cartoons, man. Back in the days, Hanna-Barbera's World of Super Adventures and all that craziness, Transformers and all that wild stuff. You know what I mean?
What was? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just basic, man. And my mom had a lot of records back then. And so, I was the type that she would play her records and I would sit there with her and listen to them, you know what I mean? And kind of like just absorb all of that soul back then. Crazy.
It's the same shit that I was doing. I mean, my mom would be cleaning the crib and I'd just be hearing legendary shit. So what was your experience like? I mean, as far as when did you, early on, I'm saying, I think coming from our era, we all kind of dabbled in rap or whatever a little bit, and stuff like that. I mean, did you have another? I know you probably had another rap name. Like, when did it get serious for you as a youngin?
No, I ain't have another rap name. I was into graffiti.
Oh, word?
Earlier. Yeah, I wrote graffiti, and I just was like, I had a couple of names. Deck, definitely. You know what I'm saying? That came later, but I went by the name of Prize One, Prize. Prize One, and I used to tag that up everywhere, man. Me and my guy Raider Ruckus, you might have heard his name.
Raider Ruckus, yeah, he's on the page. Big up Raider Ruckus, you still love.
For sure, man. So we used to just ride around, man. I was into drawing the graffiti characters, the jump waffles, and all that. We used to ride. We used to roll around with the art books.
What?
The blend markers, all of that. You know what I'm saying?
On top. So were you into that first?
Yeah, I was into that first.
Wow.
The graffiti. I used to break dance, man, pop and lock. Shout out to my man Heck. Rest in peace to my guy Blunt, my man Hound, Shireen. They used to teach us how to do these pop and lock moves. I had a battle with Ghost way back. Ghost used to break dance too. Ghost used to windmill. A lot of people don't know. Ghost was nice with the windmills. We used to battle every day going to school. Park Hill was going to school in Stapleton, and we used to battle Stapleton in the little front area of the school before you get to the classrooms and all that. We used to go off to the side and just be popping, locking, and breaking and doing all that wild shit. And Ghost was super nice. I was a little rusty. I had dudes teaching me, a couple of moves and all that, but eventually I got a little better. And just that was the whole culture for me, like the graffiti, the breakdancing. Like I said, my mom's playing old soul records. All of that kind of conditioned me, for hip hop later on, I think, as I look back at it.
Wow. Speak on it, man, because that's so funny. I was just talking about this with a lot of people that, we all kind of we didn't call it hip hop, right? We just all went out and I heard you nice, so I'll bust your ass. And then it just, whatever it is, we all kind of dabbled in shit until we kind of found the groove. And even if you didn't write, you kind of had a hand style. You know what I mean? it's crazy that you started out like that. So when did you pick up? When did the MCing become serious for you then?
MCing didn't really come. It didn't come to me until I went to jail. You know, I went to jail like I think like 17, 18. You know, that's real time. You know what I mean? I went to like little minor shit. Went to Sparkford and things like that. Little skid biz, if you want to call it back then. When I went to real jail, seen Rikers Island for the first time, Brooklyn House, places like that in New York. You know, Capadonna was the man around town. You know, as far as Park Hill, you know, RZA and them was doing their thing too. But before I met RZA and everybody else, Capadonna, who, you know, we were roommates for a while, I lived with him, that type of thing. He was always the nicest dude to me. You know, he would rap anywhere, battle anybody, anytime, had a rhyme for every occasion. And he kind of was my hero, along with dudes around my way, you know, Scotty Watt, the Blip Brothers, my man Dion. You know, they used to come from the Bronx and school us on how, you know, how it's done. Because Staten Island is so small and it's all the way over here. People from the Bronx. Shout out Mizza, my man Quincy, DJing. They used to bring these dudes from out of town, Brooklyn, Bronx, to come see us. And, you know, I got locked up at the time. But when I was in jail, I was thinking about these dudes. And, you know, I used to kick their rhymes in jail, in front, like it was mine, you know what I'm saying? Especially Cap. Because I knew Caps more than anybody. So I used to kick Capadonna rhymes, acting like they was mine and things of that nature. And then, you know, when I came home, I just, something got in me to do it seriously. I think one of my boys hit me up like, yo, you should do this serious, man. You should, you know, you nice at saying other people rhymes type of thing. And so I just was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. And early on, I wanted to be a DJ, believe it or not. Yeah,
All elements,
I was cool.
Except this one.
Shout out my guy, Ratchet Rush, man, aka Jaquan the Don, he on the gram. He was the MC, and I was a DJ. I used to DJ for him. And you know, that's back when we was cutting up LL Cool J, Dear Yvette. You know what I'm saying? All that.
Yeah, 80. It's like 87, 88, around 86, 80, 86.
Young, coming home from jail, 86. And, you know, I don't know where the tables turned at. I guess, you know, me DJing and him rapping and him getting all the love and the praise, I started feeling like, yo, I need some of that too. You know, I want to rap too. And eventually he took over the DJing, and then I started rapping. And it just took off from there. Like, and I wasn't good though. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna paint this picture like I was born dope with it. I was like, first rap I ever kicked the RZA, he told me, hey, son, go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Word. Told me straight face, like, go back to the drawing board.
Put it in perspective year-wise for us, like just around when, you know, so we can just frame it time-wise. When roughly was that?
Give it a time frame. I come home from jail. I'm starting to write now. I'm getting a little serious. I link up with Meth, You God, and you know, we doing our thing. Meth is doing his 1-2 around the hood. He's got like these mixtapes going on, songs like
early 90s or late 80s?
Late 80s.
Okay.
Late 80s, early 90s, like around that same time frame.
Got you.
But before the Clan got together in 92, that 88 to 91 window, I'm writing with You God, I'm writing with Meth. And I'm just developing my style. And for me, like I said, I incorporated all of these dudes from around my way. Like, you know, a lot of the public never heard of, may never hear them, but that's what my makeup was. And, you know, when I got a chance to come across RZA, like let's say in 90, 91, before everything jumped off, yeah, I kicked the rhyme to him, bro, and he just wasn't feeling it. But in all reality, that's what made me go harder. You know, like, he was known around the way. He had the same type of mixtapes. He was more popular than Capadonna. Meth was just on his way up. And so, you know, I was borrowing and picking from all of that. trying to formulate my style. And then, you know, when RZA was like, yo, nah, you ain't, I was like, a word? Okay. So I got to get more serious. So I started listening to the more serious dudes. You know what I mean? And that's going to like C.R.E.A.M, Big Daddy Kane. You know, Bismarck was always one of my favorites too. He wasn't the crazy lyrical bombing MC, but his entertainment value was just like, yo, dude is nice. You know, right. I see someone, and he brought Kane to the world too. So I was like, who's this dude? You know, the wrath of Kane taking over your circumference, destroying negativity. And I'm just like, I want to say that. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, coming from the hip, the hop, the hippie to the hip, and all that wild shit, it's like to hear that was like, oh, and then you hear C.R.E.A.M, and he's like, right. You know, wisdom, which means wise words being spoken. Too many at one time, watch the mic start smoking. I'm like, I want to say that. You know what I'm saying? I want people, when they hear me, I want them to hear that type of, make that type of face, like, yo, what are you saying? Like, how are you saying that? And I just studied and studied on that note. Like, I started reading a lot because I wanted vocabulary. I'm like, where do you get this vocabulary from? So I started reading more books. I started talking to older heads, and it just started developing, man. And wow. When I went to jail, I actually wrote C.R.E.A.M, right? C.R.E.A.M was me and Ray. I think we went like maybe 4 or 5 verses a piece. You know, I got invited back to RZA's crib, and C.R.E.A.M had 5 verses, and Ray had a story where he was talking about a cat named Gigante, Teflon Don with a Diamante, and we just put, I go, he go, I go, he go. We just rapping. RZA recorded it, and there's a version of it that's out, that's floating around.
Oh, word?
Yeah, you can look it up. It's me and Ray going back. You can hear my original verse on C.R.E.A.M. I sounded way younger.
Oh shit. And,
yeah, that's the original. And so by the time we got to the record C.R.E.A.M, you know, RZA said, yo, I'm gonna take this half, because this is like a potent part, the first part, and I'm gonna take this part and I'm gonna put those together. And you know, that's how the verse that you heard on the record came about. But I originally wrote that in jail, came home, I was saying it every day, like, you know what I mean? Because that was like my greatest accomplishment, you know, as far as rapping. And I was like, okay, you know, let's do it. And, you know, Ray wrote his verse. Growing up, I grew up on the crime side, New York Times side, and that was a life changer for me. You know what I mean?
Life changer for all of us. That was you know, I mean, that impacted. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. That impacted a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that you mentioned Kane, Biz, and C.R.E.A.M. Juice Crew was holding it down back in the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, those were. You know, there's 2 sides of hip hop. I always say, man. There's the dancing, fun side, where, you know, Bismarck, this is something for the radio. You're doing all that, but then there's the C.R.E.A.M, like, you know, I was sort of a porter, taking the next man's order, breaking my back with a shack for headquarters. All my manpower, $4 an hour. I said, yo, it's something about when you telling that story. You know what I'm saying? When you're telling a story, I think people gravitate and grasp it more than when you just like freestyling and you talking a lot of braggadocio. You know what I'm saying? And I said, okay, let me stop with the braggadocio rap so much, and let me focus on trying to paint this picture. You know? And that was one of the biggest things. Jizza also told me a jewel way back, and he said, yo, it don't matter if you freestyling or you telling a story, as long as your grammar, you write your rhymes as sentences, make the thoughts connect. So even if you freestyling, it'll sound like you telling a story.
Right.
And that changed my trajectory as far as writing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Damn, that's a serious
nugget.
Like you might only take note if you ride MC, man. That's serious right there.
Yeah, these are things that, you know, these are jewels that I don't really see or hear being passed around nowadays. But back then, you know, when you hone in your craft, you looking for that, you know, what is it? You looking for that secret ingredient to what you're doing. And for me, when he told me that, I said, okay, I'm writing my sentences now. I used to take the words from school, the homework, you know, English class. They used to give you these list of words, take them home, write them in a sentence. That was your homework, right? I would take the list of words and I throw them in the rhyme now. You know, it didn't even matter what the word was. It could be envelope. It could be, you know, any type of word. I just wanted to put it in a rhyme to see if I could do it. And that became one of my techniques. You know, like I get the words first, then I put them into rhyme, make it rhyme. Because the hardest part of rapping it's not the thoughts. It's making the thoughts rhyme. You know what I'm saying? So that was, how do you do that? So I said, okay, let me get the words first. Then I'll make sentences out of it. And it just became one of my trademarks. And to this day, I still do it, you know?
Wow. That's amazing. That's a nugget for everybody out there. Yo, this was way later when I found out about you producing shit. I'm like, damn, like that's it. Like a lot of your project, your first joint. I'm like, all those years I was word on the street, my shit. I'm like, and I, you know, I'm not knowing it was you for a long time. How'd you get into that? Like,
just being around one of the greatest producers of all time, man. Just sitting in RZA house, watching him do what he do. You got to remember, True Master was there. Mathematics was there. We had a guy called C.R.E.A.M from Brooklyn way back. You know, he's down with you know, Timbo King and them.
Okay, pick up Timbo King.
Yeah, C.R.E.A.M was nice back in the days. You know, I was around all these dope producers. I remember meeting Easy Mo way back. Easy Mo B, for those who don't know. And just wanting to know, how do you do that? Like, I've always been a learner. You know what I'm saying? If I'm around something and I'm interested, I'm more of like, how you do that? But then you don't have to sit there and point everything out to me. I'm watching your hands.
Right.
Like, okay, I heard him take the sample. How did he chop the back and chop the front off? So now I'm watching your hands, and I'm like, oh, you just hit this, edit this. Okay, yeah. And, you know, RZA taught me without teaching me, just being up under him, watching him do what he do. He taught me, you know, to have an ear. You listening for things that are not really there, you know? Like, you listen to a song, and most of the time we just listen to the song. But RZA hears the string that's all the way in the background that you could barely hear. Or he hears that bass line that's underneath everything, or underneath all these horns and everything. There's this little bass. He hears that. So he taught me how to, like, tune in and just picking it up. Like I said, after him, I went and got my own EPS 16 plus. You know, graduated to the ASR later on, but I had a 16 plus with maybe like 16 seconds worth of sampling on it, man. And that helped too, because I didn't have much time.
Right.
Yeah, I had to learn how to just chop it up, bang it up, put it out there, and you know, let your soul glow. You let your soul glow. So, you know, and a lot of the beats that I made too, I wasn't trying to become a producer. A lot of the beats I made so I could rap to them, because I didn't have if I wasn't near RZA, I'm somewhere else. I'm like, okay, I need some beats. I just decided to take it upon myself to, hey, make your own shit. And in that process, you know, word on the street to me, it wasn't really finished. And, you know, as I look back and I hear it nowadays, I'm like, man, I could have did so much more to that beat.
Right.
But you got to remember, at that time, when my first album, when I got the deal for it, I went through a flood, bro.
Yeah.
Like, RZA went through a flood at that time. Then you got to remember, I was signed to Loud Records under Steve Rifkin, which was...
And then they was out of there, right?
Yeah, Loud Records went defunct.
Yeah.
RCA, and then Sony picked up all of it. You know, I signed a deal with Loud Records, Steve Rifkin, and I wound up with Columbia Relativity under Sony. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a crazy mess. But in that process, I had to put another album together. And I was on the fly. RZA was over here. Dirty just got signed. Meth just got signed. So it was real chaotic. And me, I was impatient at the time. I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and wait for all these albums to come out and everybody do their thing. And I'm sitting in the background. So I took it upon myself to say, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I snatched up a couple of beats from RZA, Mathematics, True Master, you know, the rest of the disciples. And, you know, I there's times where I look back and say, man, if I had that RZA produced first album, you know, the same way, the formula with everybody else,
yeah,
I know would have had that platinum. You know, it's like getting that Super Bowl ring, and this would be a whole different conversation. But, you know, I don't regret nothing. Everything happened for a reason. I just pushed forward. I ain't complain. I said, you know what? Now it's time to test your mettle, see what you know, go for what you know. And I just put my thing together. Shout out to everybody that did show up for me. You know what I mean? A lot of Dark Man, Killer
yeah.
Sam, you know what I'm saying? All my brothers. And I went for what I knew at the time. Man, I didn't know much. You know what I'm saying? I was new. I was coming off the streets. I was 2 felonies in. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm gonna be a rapper now. And just that whole journey, man, like, damn, you know, you at the gate, it's your turn to race. And it's like your shoes are tied together. So when he clicks the gun and I'm about to run, I'm falling instantly. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make up the gap in that race. Like, bro, you know, the flood, Loud got dropped. So I'm like, damn, now I'm over here with Sony. I'm with Crucial Conflict and Project Pat and Gangsta Boo. And shout out to them too, man. I love them. They held me down in so many places where I was unfamiliar. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, I went on the road with the Icons. If you remember, they had a big song called Get Crunked Up. Yeah, it was with Project Pat, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, Gangsta Fool, Crucial Conflict, Hey in the Middle of the Barn. I went on the road with them, man, and I was the only one with that Wu-Tang shit in the mix of all of that. You know, Deep South, we in Florida. And like I said, man, them dudes held me down, you know what I'm saying, treated me like a brother, and I respect them for life for that. And it taught me a lot being out there on my own. Like, damn, bro, this is what it's really about. You know, it's a business. I learned that later on. Like, yeah, I had to spend my own money. You know what I mean? And, you know, but the whole learning experience was a beautiful thing. Like, it taught me how to go out there and create and not depend on people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I think, a beautiful lesson that I could have learned in this, because I was expecting to be taken care of. I was expecting, you know, my brothers to hold my hand and walk me through it. You know what I mean? But when I turned around, I was in the fire for Dolo. Like,
You love Dolo, like, wait.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of the fire, burnt up. But I'm like, I'm gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it. And that created this Inspectah right now, you know?
Wow. Yeah, man. It's funny because that album, like, it also came out in 99, right? Or
Yeah.
So, which was also a weird year. Hip hop was going through funny shit at the time, by that time already. So it wasn't like 93, 94, 95, 96. It was later. So that also, even just the timing of it was different. But I banged the hell out of the album. I don't give a fuck nobody say. Like, whether it was, I wish, I mean, when I heard about the flood and everything, I'm like, damn. But like, to me, like I said, it happened the way it happened. And it's weird, man, because you've mentioned this before, like, your profile or whatever might be bigger. But to me, as a fan, it would be weird if your profile was bigger, because you're Inspectah Deck. Because for instance, I was like, you know, we're doing all these reposts and shit. I'm like, my wife was like, did he repost it? I'm like, no, it's Inspectah Deck. He ain't gonna repost it. Like he you know, he doesn't post. He doesn't post like that. He's Inspectah Deck. So it'd be weird if it was like, in some ways, you know what I'm saying, as a fan. But to me, that album is a fucking heater. It went gold though, didn't it? Right?
Yeah, it definitely went. Yeah, but we live in this world, like, the platinum changes things. So
of course,
I looked at it like, but yeah, I feel the same way you feel, brother. Like, if, let's say it did go platinum and Deck would have, you know, the whole trajectory would have been different. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows if we having this conversation right now? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't complain. You know what I'm saying? I say my leg hurt until I saw the nigga with no legs.
Right. You good? I'm good now. Man, this shit ain't feel so bad.
I'm fine. I can walk, baby. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yo, did you said before like the C.R.E.A.M was like kind of like the mark where you guys saw that you made it. But like, did you see Wu-Tang being even before C.R.E.A.M like being this huge? I mean, I talked to Blue Raspberry who absolutely ate Cuban links, and she was like RZA. She said RZA showed me the vision, and I just rocked with RZA and this trusted that she's like he knew, and that was what she was saying when you know. But like early on, did you see that? Like, what was it? What was your? Were you just like, like how you know how?
To be honest, nah, I don't think none of us saw that far. You know, none of us saw that far. And RZA, I give him credit because he was able to get 9. I mean, it's 9 that you know of, but it was more than 9. You know what I'm saying? It was more than 9. He got everybody to see that vision. You know, I was able to see his vision through his eyes, and I think that was like he saw all of this. And I can't tell you how, but he knew like, yo, Wu-Tang is going to be great. We're going to do this. We're going to take over the world. And, you know, when you look back at the interviews and a lot of things he says, he kind of predicted this future. You know, Raekwon said a few things too. Like, you know, I know the world's waiting to hear it because I'm waiting to hear it, you know, because we did the album. We never really heard the album until it was fully done. And, you know, a lot of the beats were different. You know, Protect Your Neck had a different beat.
Yeah, I heard about that.
The original Protect Your Neck was a different track. The Protect Your Neck you hear now was actually, that beat was my first single for the Inspectah Deck album.
What?
And yeah, Inspectah, my Uncontrolled Substance, the first version, the Protect Your Neck beat was a song called Not Your Average Flow, which was my single on that album, you know? And it was a solo track. You know?
Damn!
Yeah, that's one of the only beats that got recovered, you know what I mean? Like, I still have the floppy disk from the ASR, the wet, damaged joints from the flood. I still got those back in New Jersey, you know? And I just held on to them for keepsake, man. Maybe they'll work.
That's a game
Maybe
changer though, like you said. That like imagine like you on that shit, that changes everything. Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But you know, I try not to I don't stay in that mind state.
Yeah.
I say what is, you know, what's meant to be will be. And you know, it was meant for this to happen, I guess. So it changed me, it changed my life as it is. And I couldn't ask for nothing more, bro. You know, I can only hope but wonder. Like, okay, what if? You know what I'm saying? But we're not stuck there, man. Like, I'm happy with the legacy. I'm happy with my contribution to the game. And I got a slogan, man. My man Josh Gannett, you know, Redman's engineer. I always tell him, I say they're gonna know when I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm gone, and let's say Hot 97 or one of these radio stations decide, hey, let's go through Inspectah Deck's catalog and blah, blah, blah. And there's so much shit that you probably don't even know, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as lyrics and songs and things that I put out that I've done. I think if they were to do like an hour, like when Pac and Big died, you do Inspectah Deck like that, they'll be like, oh, shit. You know, I'll go platinum in my grave.
That's what Sean Price said. Their rappers get better promotion. So, yeah, you know what I mean? We already know. Yo, how did the Czarface thing come about? I mean, because I kind of took a break from newer stuff. I was just really reluctant to listen to anything new because a lot of older cats were letting me down. So I was just got stuck in the '90s, and now I was like, Deck and SO and what? Like, how did that happen?
That was I did a song with Esoteric years ago. What was it called? Speaking Real Words. I think that was in 2012. We did that song. And he was always saying, "Yo, man, we should team up and do something else, do something." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure, man." But you know, time flies, and in the past, you know, we never got back around to it. And then, you know, years later, I think about maybe 2015 or something like that, we hooked back up and we had an idea like, yo, let's do an album. And coming from Wu-Tang and then doing Inspectah Deck, and then now, you know, I said, okay, how do we do this? Now, people like to clown, you know, the white rappers and things like that. I thought Esoteric was dope.
He's
I said, he's got punchlines. He knows the game. He's a student of the game. He's not like a white rapper trying to be black. He knows his lane. And I just said, yo, that's dope. Like, okay, let's try it out. But we need a name. And so we just sat there playing around with different things. And, you know, Czarface came to mind. Like, we need something that's like iconic. Czarface is iconic. We said, yo, what about Czarface? Because the Czar is like same type of thing. Somebody that's you know, your name is known, you're solidified, or whatever. Right. So Czarface became the name, but we didn't have like that image until my man Lamar came through and just drew this like, I guess what we call it, like the anti-hero.
Right.
And it kind of a play off of MF Doom. Rest in peace to my brother MF Doom. He started something in that lane, you know, the Mad Villain, you know, Mad Lib, and we was like, yo, we can play into that genre of people, you know, and so Czarface was born. So it's like, yeah, the anti-hero. We're not against what's going on, but we're against the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like all that, the sucker MCs. You know what I'm saying? We're against all that, and so we wanted to bring back the essence of punchlines and rapping and bringing pop culture phrases to the forefront. We was like, yo, you know, everybody today is caught up in TV and internet and things of that nature. So why not make this about that? So, you know, you'll hear me say things like "Catch Me Slow Dancing" with Scarlett Johansson and all types of wild, just a whole bunch of pop culture references and things of that nature to play along, to keep it relevant and up to date. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted it to be different from what Wu-Tang does, you know, because right now I got, it's 3 lanes for me. It's Wu-Tang, it's Inspectah Deck, and then there's Czarface. And each one to me is different. You know what I'm saying? Czarface, like I said, pop culture reference, more in the lane of you know, the MF Dooms, and shout out to the Underachievers and all these other dudes that don't get credit, you know what I'm saying? But they created that wave. You know, Inspectah Deck is a combination of both. You know, Inspectah Deck takes the Wu-Tang angle where it's, you know, a lot of serious, fierce darts, and then you combine it with punchlines and pop references and things of that nature. And I'm able to balance that line by myself because there is no boundaries when I rhyme as Inspectah Deck. I get to do whatever I choose to do.
Right.
Wu-Tang, there's so many serious MCs, you know, you got to be on your toes or you get your throat cut, you know? And in Czarface, it's just fun.
Right.
You know?
No, totally different. Yeah, they're all different, but they're similar and it's still you. So let's go pop culture for a second. I mean, I take it you were mentioning comic books and Transformers and stuff and back in the day. So got a couple questions for you. G.I. Joe cartoon or Transformers cartoon?
Transformers all day, man.
Transformers all day.
I didn't like G.I. Joe. I didn't like G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe would be like a million shots bust off and nobody got hit.
Nobody got touched.
Nobody got scratched. I wasn't into that, man. I needed somebody to drop all them shots flying. You know what I mean?
That's shit. I hated that shit.
Come on, man.
That was what. All right. I'm gonna so I'm not a huge DC fan. I'm a Marvel dude.
Me too.
All right. So then, okay, where are you with Batman?
I'm a big Batman fan.
Right, so why? Because I always say and people kill me. They kill me. My people on here now will kill me. Why? Why for you?
I can't really call it. I think, you know, if I had to flashback to my childhood and look at Batman, I think because he ain't had no real powers. He had a belt, you know. This nigga had a belt.
That's true, yo.
Yeah, he had a belt with mad gadgets on it. I don't know. I needed to see some things out his fingertips or something. It ain't do it for me.
That's what I said. And yo, for me, it was like I wanted to go into a different world. I'm like, I could put on that suit and make some grapple hooks and shit. Like, I want to be special if I'm looking at superheroes. Y'all niggas ain't, Batman and Robin wasn't special. And I used to watch the one with Adam West when he was all fat and pudgy and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a bad look too, you know what I mean? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
But they're killing us now. Everybody leaving the show.
I couldn't do it, man. You know, it's I said, even in Czarface, I said, original Dark Knight, I'm Adam West. My chick noticed the burn. She likes Sharon Gless. Now, you know, you got to know that Sharon Gless starred in Burn Notice. So, you know, that's what I mean by the pop culture and all that. But yeah, Batman wasn't it for me, man. Like, I was more, only DC dude that I was really into.
Who was it? I had one, but I'll let you go. Well, I'll say mine. I had the Flash.
Yeah. And that's
sorry, all you DC. Who's your Marvel dudes then?
Marvel, the Avengers, man. The Avengers. I used to watch the Avengers Ensemble with my son growing up, just reliving my childhood because you know I always thought that they was the dopest, man. With you know, Nick Fury and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that. It was just the Marvel world was so big and everybody had these dope powers and everything, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, Professor X was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
You know, having the telepathy to be able to talk to people and put thoughts in your head and different things. So, you know, Marvel just always had that appeal to me, man. Spider-Man, of course, is one of my biggest characters ever. You know, I grew up definitely a Spider-Man fan. And you know, me and my dudes used to be like, yo, if Spider-Man, who would he fight on DC? You know what I mean? Like Marvel versus DC, who takes on who? You know, Hulk would smash half of them by itself. You know, man, there's just so many. So many, like
no, there's so many, and they had issues too. Like if you read that, I mean, they had like mental issues and shit going on in their lives and stuff. It was like, you know, Tony Stark was an alcoholic and shit. Like, you know, so that I think it was dope. So all of your music, most of your music is got the copyright shit on it. So if I play it too long in the live, they'll flag me. This show's about to get shut down for playing copyright shit.
Yeah, right. With the dude who owned the copyright on the station.
Exactly. Yeah. Riddle me that. You know what I'm saying? So we're back to deck. Episode 111 of the Carrying Culture Show. A fucking legend in the building, man. What up? So we were just jumping around with shit, talking some Marvel and all this stuff, and I did want to jump into the Wu-Tang shit. So I've heard you say about the Hulu thing that you know it's made for TV and there's some stuff that's not completely accurate. Like, did you guys have to sign off on anything as far as like okay anything as far as creativity wise goes with that, or like approve anything, or you don't have any? It's just like whatever they put out there that's what it is.
Nah, you know, me personally, I speak for myself. I did a deal based on licensing, you know, licensing my likeness. And so, you know, everything with that is a go on that. You know, the story is definitely, you know, made for TV for sure.
Gotcha.
And, you know, that's why that had to be done hilarity in real life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I'm not trying to get nobody incriminated or incriminate myself. So, yeah, you know, story had to switch. You know, like say that the names and the faces have changed, but the game is still the same.
Gotcha. So, I mean, were you cool? I haven't seen it. I can't. For me as a fan, it's hard. I can't watch it. So, like, are you comfortable with how? So I don't know how you were portrayed. Are you comfortable with how you were portrayed? And I think it was Joey Badass was in first season, right?
Yeah, Joey Badass. You know, shout out to Joey. He did his thing. I didn't have no problem with Joey. You know what I'm saying? I had a problem with the writing, with, you know, the way they wrote me in, the way the character was portrayed. You know, I came in episode 6 out of 10 in the first season. And so, but I get it. It's people got to understand the Hulu series is telling RZA's story. It's telling RZA's story as far as how he met us and how he put everything together, the Stapleton, the Park Hill aspect. Oh yeah, thank you. Oh, I mean, I gotta get my little wine. I see you over there.
Do you think? I told you it was informal, man.
Okay.
I told you it was informal. We're
Yeah, my daughter crashing the stream.
It's all good. This is organic beauty.
This is real life, man. This is real life. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, I understand. I mean, I'm got a debate tournament to go to with my daughter for like 8 hours or some shit. So
yeah,
yeah,
it's real. Hey, baby, no, it's okay. It's okay. Come on.
that
I'll be right back. Okay. Oh man.
that.
Yeah, she want to get on the camera.
Oh, you should have let her get on.
I was going to. She's starting to, you know how they get. She's 3.
Oh, okay.
I get the camera and everything. So.
Oh, I got you. Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, I got a 14 and a 27, so I'm out of that shit.
Yeah. But, that's what's up.
Yeah. No, I got you.
But yeah, going back to the Hulu, yeah, it was more of how they portrayed me coming in, like, in real life, somebody from Park Hill wouldn't be hustling for somebody from Stapleton in Park Hill. You know what I'm saying? Like that caused problems for me. So when my intro to the series was, RZA came to my house and approached Joey Badass, like, yo, got that money? Like I was a lame hustler. I ain't had time.
Oh, you ain't paid up his shit.
Yeah, I fucked up the pack or something. You know what I mean? And truth be told, man, in my hustling days, I didn't work for nobody. You know what I mean? Never worked for nobody. Was never down with no clique. Never down with no organization, no crew. I was down with my dudes from my hood, but I always worked for me. So when I got locked up, I bailed myself out. I told my moms, yo, the money's look under the mattress, look over here, look in this pocket. You know what I'm saying? So it was never, hey, yo, these niggas ain't do nothing for me. They ain't bailed me out. They left me hanging. Nah, it wasn't none of that. I always took care of myself. But, so I had a problem coming in like, oh, I'm working for RZA. He's in my house, stepping to me. Like, but then, I had to understand this is Hollywood, man. It wasn't meant for me to take personal like that. It's just to take my likeness and my story and make it something watchable, And when I started looking at it like that, I went and I watched the first season, from first episode to the last one. I didn't watch it until it was completely over because I felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold up, man. Meth is sleeping on the staircase outside of my crib. Meth wasn't, Meth was never that type of dude, man. So I was just like, but, made for TV, bro. That's all I can tell you. And the story, we can't tell you too much.
Right.
So, that's what made me accept it. And then, season 2 was a little better for me. I got to see my guy Udita. He came in for Joey Badass, and I think he did a excellent job as portraying me, at least look wise. Certain mannerisms. I got a chance to get to talk to him on the phone and give him pointers. I didn't get to do that with Joey, but I seen Joey in person, and he had asked me about, hey, yo, what you think about me playing your part? I told him, yo, bro, do it. You know what I'm saying? I always looked at him. When I first saw Joey on TV, doing his videos, and I always felt like he was a young version of us. You know what I mean? Like, he's keeping that torch alive. He didn't sound like a lot of these young dudes, so I respected him off top. And, so when he asked me, I said, yo, bro, you definitely got my blessing, if that's what it is. And Udita, the same way, me talking to him, just telling him things like how we talk and how my childhood was, how my mom's, my pops passed away when I was 6, different things. I learned a lot of things on the street. So I like that he came to me, you know what I mean, and was like, yo, give me some insight. And, you know, I actually got to hang out with the dude in person, you know what I'm saying, a few times in LA. Cool dude, man. And he was able to pull that off to me. And I spoke to the writers, you know, telling them, hey, man, you need to put this in there, put this in there. You know, because I had felt like the show was about RZA, Ghost, Ray, and Power.
Right.
And rightfully so. They were there in the beginning. They were there from the jump. You know, RZA, Ghost, Ray, Power, Divine. But, you know, the other supporting cast, we're not the dunce cap niggas that y'all portraying us as on this show. Like, my character was saying like one-liner, little sarcastic one-liner shit. Didn't have no real dialogue. And I'm like, that's not who I am, period. But that's definitely not who I was in that circle. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they was like, yeah, you know, we had to introduce the characters, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, do what you got to do. But next season, open up a little more, man. Like, don't make the show so one-sided. And I think they did a better job at that. You know what I mean? You got to think Capadonna had one scene in the whole season one. And we ain't seen him in season two. You got came in season two at the end. He ain't have no lines. You know what I mean? But, you know, we was there from day one. So that's why I took it a little personal. But I can enjoy it now. I can watch it now and say, yeah, you know, it's entertaining. It's keeping our names alive. It's keeping us relevant. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, it's a check in the mail. You know? So I can't be mad at it. I'm just glad that they stepped up the dialogue and it started opening up, you know, the backstory on the other characters, not just, you know, like you got to see Raekwon's mom. You know, you got to see like oh, he, you know, the gangster, boom, boom, on the street, but then he come home, he's like, you know, Mom, you know, I'm just trying to do what I can do to help take care of you. And, you know, that's how we all was, you know what I mean? Like, trying to go out there and just provide for our families and shit. So, you know, everybody deserved that chance to get that backstory. And that was mainly what I was beefing about.
Got you. Yo, you guys been candid about sharing that he's felt that like RZA kind of held you guys back, you, Master Killah, and him back as far as just, you know, really just not putting as much attention on you guys later and you know, putting attention with Killah Army, Sons of Man. You feel that way, or what's your thoughts on that?
You said, who said that? You got?
Yeah, you guys said that.
Nah, I don't feel like that. As far as me, I don't feel like that. What I seen is that I didn't take the opportunity to market myself during my career. You know what I mean? And I learned that later because, like I said, I'm coming up the streets. I'm not knowing the entertainment game. I'm not, you know, I don't know too many entertainers outside of RZA, Jizza, and the people in my circle. So I didn't know how to really sell it. You know, when I'm around Dirty is dirty. He, what the fuck that? He snatched the camera from, he gonna let you know he was there. Me, early in my career, you see me, I'm back here. I'm in the background in the pictures.
I always notice that. Always. I would always look for you.
I wasn't trying to be like, yo, nigga, here I am, boom. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even in hindsight, if I could do it again, I wouldn't do it like that. But I would definitely take advantage. Like, yo, we doing an interview, I wouldn't be quiet. I wouldn't just let Meth do all the talking or, you know, Ghost do all the talking or Ray, whatever. It's like, yeah, I got something to say too. That's the only thing I would do different. You know what I'm saying? But I appreciate my humility, bro, because it allows me to be able to survive in this cold game. You know what I'm saying? I could walk past niggas and niggas don't even know it's me. And I'm not like, yo, nigga, y'all don't know it's me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, bro.
That's good. I mean, you probably like that's considering you're, you know, part of the, you know, arguably the best group of all time, influence everything. I mean, that's pretty dope. I mean, I think that would be dope. I mean,
yeah, it's dope for me, man, because when you mention Wu-Tang, you're going to mention Inspectah Deck, bro, regardless. Mm-hmm. You're gonna mention my name. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just appreciative of that. Like, yo, I don't gotta stand on top of Mount Rushmore to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I'm Rushmore material. You know what I'm saying? And that's cool with me. You know, it's cool with me.
You know, that's super dope, man. Yo, what's in your phone right now? What is Inspectah Deck listening to?
Oh man, I'm listening to this joint that Billy Dance just put out. Billy Dance from MOP.
Which project? He's been putting out a lot of shit. He's been working hard lately.
He's been putting out a lot of joints.
Big up to him.
I just did a joint with him the other day, but it made me go back and listen to the couple of joints that he's been putting out across the internet recently. Of course, you know, I listen to, you know, my brothers, you know, classic Wu-Tang shit. As far as like new cats, young cats, you know, I know you don't really partake with Griselda. I like Griselda. I like a lot of dudes, man. I can't think of everybody, man. I just heard a song from who was it? Was it Kendrick? I just heard some Kendrick shit.
Oh,
J. Cole's one of my favorites. I heard a J. Cole freestyle that I feel like that shit smoked niggas' whole albums.
Really? I gotta hear that because I don't have him.
Send it to you, man. Cole did a freestyle where he was glowing.
All right.
Spit. You know what I'm saying? Like he might have set on fire himself saying that shit. That's how I felt. Like damn. Smoking.
That's glowing. I mean, that's glowing praise right there. I mean, I gotta peep it now. You know what I'm saying? My man laughing at me.
Nah, Cole is a problem, man.
I gotta peep that shit. What about other genres you fuck with heavy?
Other genres? I still listen to classic soul, R&B, man. I got the whole neo soul section in my phone. I got 80s, 90s R&B. I got classic rock, bro. I listen to a little bit of everything because, you know, you never know where you get inspiration from. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you just never know where it's gonna come from. Like I didn't like the baby at first. I learned to like the baby. You know what I'm saying? When I listen to his lyrics, I think I misunderstood a lot of the young dudes because I'm not living their lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So when I had to look at life and look at the planet, look at the hood and what everybody's going through, I could understand a lot of dudes and what they're saying and why they're saying it. You know what I'm saying? For me, you know, we grew up in a generation where we had a problem, we fought. You know, I think these little niggas will smoke you before they want to sit down and even beef with you. It's I'm smoking you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the disconnection with the OGs and the young Gs. You know, just the lifestyle they living right now, man. We didn't come from that, so we don't understand that. We understand it, we just we don't indulge in it. You know what I'm saying? And so when I hear a lot of these young dudes, man, NLE Chopper and all these cats, I can respect it now, even though it's not what I do. It may not even be my cup of tea, but I can hear it now, and it ain't like, oh, them niggas is whack or this. I'm like, nah, bro, they doing what they do. You know what I'm saying? And so I'd have a different appreciation for it now. So I can listen to a lot of it.
You said you don't what?
Now, so I can listen to it now. You know what I'm saying? Before the time where I was the mad rapper. You know what I mean?
I'm the mad fan. So I'm the fan. I'll be mad. I'll be mad for you. What's yo? So Wu-Tang 2023 versus Wu-Tang 1993. Like, which, if you had to choose where you would be, which era would you be in?
Wu-Tang could exist now. I'd definitely be Wu-Tang.
I'm saying like
2023.
Oh really? Why?
Because then I would have a chance to go head to head with a lot of these dudes. Yeah. Like Wu-Tang 2023 gives me a chance to, I don't got to say, oh, these dudes is whack or this is that or this is that. I got a chance to go head up now. Now I could go in the ring with you, put the gloves on and go face to face. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, Wu-Tang back when we did it was a totally different time. You know, the money was different, the fans was different. And so nowadays, you know, with this, all you gotta do is tap somebody's jaw, bro. You viral. So it's like, yo, Deck, you suck. Yeah, we get in the ring, bow. I'm on. I'm on, bro.
You got a show. You got a fucking, sponsors, everything.
Yeah, I got a podcast, TV show. I'm in the movies, all because I just tapped on these niggas' jaws. You know?
Courtside, Knicks, all day.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Got my own sneaker coming out. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different now. That's why I would love to do it today. You know what I'm saying?
Couple last things before we get on out of here. Rebel INS wins the U.S. presidency. What's your State of the Union address? What's your platform? What are you doing? First of all, I'll say this, man. I really don't give a fuck about. I mean, I care about the music when it comes to your shit, but the interviews that have stuck out for me were the ones where you said you bought your mom a crib, and we were like, here. When you talked about you know what I'm saying? You talked about having a solid lady and just, you know what I'm saying? Just doing your tour shit, coming home. You talked about the real shit. So first of all, I just want to say I respect your opinion on a lot of shit. It's just, right. You know, it's logical, it's practical, it makes sense, it's sensible. So Rebel INS runs for president, he wins. What's going on? What are you changing? What are you doing?
Shit, I don't know. I might put an on and off button on the internet. Put an off switch on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Got to log out at 10 p.m. Everybody. Internet ain't back on until the next morning, 8 o'clock or something. Give you a break. You know what I'm saying? Might be earlier than 10, so you can sit down with your family, eat dinner or something. You know? And give yourself, like, you know, this Black History Month and all that stuff. It might be a no fuckery month. You know what I'm saying? There's so many things you could tackle with that question. You know, that's a loaded question, man. But, you know, if I had to go off the top of the head, man, I would do like my man, my son, and boycott black murder off top. You know what I'm saying? We losing too many brothers and sisters for stupidity, man. A lot of the shit we doing to ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, can't blame the white man for everything that we going through. And you know, it's just certain, like you said, sensible and practical things you just have to go through and stop, man. You know, but you know, you gotta give the youth an alternative. You know, when I grew up, we had YMCAs, we had a lot of parks, we had a lot of things, man, that you know, we can escape.
Right. Boys and Girls Club.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we had Job Corps, all types of shit. You know, a lot of that stuff don't exist no more, so it's nothing left but the streets. You know what I'm saying? And man, streets is real, dog. Like, I could tell you now, like, I tell young dudes, like, yo, it's cool to not be from the streets, man. It's cool that you ain't a thug. It's cool that you're not a killer. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled to think you got to murk somebody to be somebody. Don't be fooled to think that you got to be this ultimate gangster to be important or to be noticed, bro. Be yourself. I don't care if you a skateboarder, you an artist, you a carpenter, bro. You could be a painter. It does not matter, bro. Paint that shit like you know, paint it like you super gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, because gangster ain't what gangster used to be. Today's gangster, you know, when you look at John Gotti and the mob and, you know, the Genovese defense, there was morals, there was guidelines, there was codes that they lived by. And I think nowadays those codes are gone. There's no code in the streets no more, besides no snitching. And niggas are snitching at an all-time high right now. So much for that code. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But, you know, that's being the president would be a crazy job, man. That's something I wouldn't want to do. I wouldn't want to be responsible for the republic like that. Nah. You know what I'm saying? I got a hard time being responsible for this dude right here. Right. And my little ones running around. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's great power and great responsibility. And I don't think I would want that.
Nah, I fully agree with you. I wouldn't want it. It's a thankless task. And before we get on that, musically, you got an album ready to rock, right? Because I mean, so what's good, man? What's going on the music front? I mean, your last joint was in 2019. So what you doing?
I've been working, man. I got like 3 projects right now. Got a project called The Battle of the City Slick. You know, production. I got Primo. I got Knife Wonder. I got Havoc. I got Ty Fife. I got Marco Polo. I got a bunch of dudes on there, man. Cats you know, cats you don't know. My man Don Cody. My man Danny Casso did Ghost's album, Ghost's last project. You know, got Willie the Kid, Nick Grant features on it. Blue Raspberry on there. Speaking of her, you know, I think that album is dope. I think that's gonna lead the way for the next project I did with my guy P.A. Dre. If you don't know P.A. Dre, he did, you know, he's one of R.J. Payne's main producers. Dope ass dude too, bro. Like, dude is fire. Yeah, that's called Dragon's Breath. And on that project, I reached out to all a lot of the young up and comers. You know, I got G4 Jag, Easy the Block Captain. We got 40 Bars. I got Bahamadia. Raheem Devon, you know, Hus Kingpin, Sauce Money, Raekwon. We've been working, man. You know what I'm saying? We've been working. And I'm also putting out an NFT album.
Yeah, I can't wait for that album to come out, of course.
Yeah. We got, you on there too, bro. You on the joint. You actually lead off the joint with G4 Jag, Easy the Block Captain, and myself. And Hus Kingpin on. It's called One of One, and we put your skit up on there.
Let's get it. Let's get it. I can't wait. So which one's coming out first?
City Slick's coming out first, and then Dragon Breath, produced entirely by P.A. Dre. That's going to come after that, and then you'll hear the NFT project. You know, that's miscellaneous. I'm working with cats from out of Boston, from out of Vegas. You know, just team up. It's a Marvel team up right there.
So they're done, right?
Yeah.
Are they
done? I was looking for a situation to do, you know, a distribution deal, maybe on a long-term note. And then I realized, you know what, I don't really want to sign to no labels. I don't want to do those type of deals. If anything, I'll put it out myself. I want to do something sort of like what Nipsey did, man. Like I stand on the avenue and come buy it off me. You know what I'm saying? You know, times have changed though. You know, you wanna sell 100,000. You know, that's what. So I gave myself a goal of 100,000. So yeah, sell 100,000 units, I'm good. You know what I mean? Anything after that is a blessing. But to come out, do that 100, you know, everybody's not moving mad units the first week no more. It's, you know, especially the OGs. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, how do I put this album out without it being overlooked or pushed to the side for something else? So you know, I wanted to avoid that. So I wasn't in no rush to put out either one. But, you know, time's ticking. You know, I went through a crazy situation with my ex, you know, real setback. And, you know, sometimes you just got to shake off the wounds, bro. You know, you got to lick the wounds and know that you survive for another day. So guaranteed, you will get both of these albums this year.
Oh, dope. I mean, that's reasonable. I mean, but I get it, yo. A lot of artists are saying the same thing you're saying. I told you, Billy Dance, he said they got 2 MOP joints. They've been ready for like 4 years. You know, but he was like, you know, he goes, well, I'm going to put it out there, and then after a week, it's poof, it's done. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know, I'm feeling like, you know, Nas kind of opened the door with, you know, King Disease 3. But then, you know, as quick as that made noise,
it's good. Ain't talking about that shit no more, though.
Talking about nothing no more.
Listen, Jay could drop something. Whoever your biggest cat is, it doesn't matter, man. He dropped that whatever 444 shit or whatever. A week, everybody talking. It's we're on to the next, man. You see how the memes are shorter. Everything's 5 seconds. So
well, you know, we got to make something that they can make a TikTok dance off of. You know what I'm saying? You can make if I give you something, you make a TikTok dance off my shit. I'm gonna go viral, bro.
done. It's a wrap. It's putting kids through college and everything off that shit.
For sure.
So that's some bullshit. We about to get out of here, let you go, man. Thank you for joining us for so long. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yo, Inspectah Deck, Wu-Tang Clans, Shaolin, Park Hill.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for rocking with us on the Carrying the Culture show. Man, really do.
Yeah, y'all already know, man. Like I said, look out for that. The Ballad of City Slick album coming soon. Look out for Dragon Breath and my NFT album, Enter to the Inspectorverse. And like I said, man, when I put this out, y'all better go get that shit. I don't want to hear no more. We want real music. We tired of this. We tired of all this mumble. Da 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 da. Y'all niggas is going out there buying that shit. That shit going platinum for a reason. It ain't going platinum by itself. You know what I'm saying? So when you see the Decks of the world, the MOPs of the world, or anybody else coming from, you know, anybody else that's been carrying the culture, that go out there and support that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's facts. And we can change the culture. You can, you know, get that music back. You just gotta support it when you see it.
Facts. It's different now, man. So like if you fuck with an artist, you have access to artists like never before. This ain't 1990. Like I wouldn't have been able to catch up with you in the 90s. I was trying to. I mean, I would have if I could have, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's different now. You guys, artists are doing lives and chopping it up, sending merch directly from their crib. I mean, like, so if you fuck with an artist, then fuck with them and like, you know what I'm saying? Spend money on their shit, their merch and stuff, because it's different now. Like, it's there's no street team, there's none of that shit. Repost their shit for love, man. Like, if you really fuck with them, this is how they're trying to fucking eat, man.
Yeah.
So
that's what it's like a sports team, man. Y'all going out there supporting the Knicks. The Knicks ain't won in years, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you still go out there to the game, you still support, and you hope they win, right? I mean, that's all you can do, man. Support your local rap hero. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He's a you know what I'm saying? He's a superhero right here. Czarface, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you got like 40 names, man. So big up Inspectah Deck. We will get this up on the YouTube channel and everything. You know, appreciate you again, and look forward to building.
Shout out to everybody in the chat room too. I see all my guys in there. I see Jamel. I see Wood. I see a few heads in there, man. Salute to y'all.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of heads was in here. Street Life was in here too. So,
Life, yeah.
So, big up, man. Thank you again. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk soon.
All right, that's what's up, my dude.
All right, peace.
Salute.
100.